What is going on, guys? It's your boy here again, Dean, and last night we had the Rigze Cup in Japan. That is a 256-man event hosted by this man on Twitter, Rigze. And we had the two-deck best-of-one format being played. And we have the top four from, 256-man event. Pretty big event, so, yeah, it is on Twitter, so we're not going to have deck profiles. Is that really what you thought? No, you know what? I woke up this morning, first thing I did, boom, we went and made all of these decks. So you guys can net deck these. That's right. Deck list in the description. If you like that I do stuff like this, smash that like button. Please subscribe, dude. We're trying to grow, okay? I'm trying to grow. And so here I am. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about the decks a little bit. We're not going to read every card. We're just going to kind of like go through it and talk about it, right? So a lot of people brought Roach. Roach, it turns out, still really good because, like I said back when we did the set review, I thought Wardhaven was a little overhyped day one, and it turns out it was, and it's not really being played, which means that Forest has room to breathe, especially since it has, like, good matchups in almost everything. The slower decks get OTK'd, and the faster decks get, like, kind of pushed, their shit pushed in. Important things are that he only played one of the Garden's Allure. I think that's probably right. I want to see it in hand, but I guess by the time your hand is so full that you need to see it, you're expected to have seen your one of, hopefully. So I kind of do like that. When I was like building decks and putting this in as a 3 of, it felt very wrong because it doesn't pressure the board. So yeah, I do think that's probably the correct call. We also see only 2 Good Fairy of the Pawn. That's because we needed to make room for our removal in the ambush from above to be able to clear multiple things from the board. So yeah, we didn't really have room for the Good Fairy of the Pawn, and it is the worst card in the 1-drop slot. Another inclusion is that we actually are playing the Lily. I'm assuming... What is this for? I mean, it just peels things in the late game, and then I guess it's a little bit of draw in the mid game if we really need to. Fairy Fencer is coming in as a 2 of. It is, at the end of the day, a 2-mana 2/2, which means that if we're going second, we can tick up, and it puts more pressure on our opponent than the other cards in the old deck. Only a single Titania, Queen of the Fairies. I'm guessing this is just a card that you don't really need. It's got that evolve to be able to turn something into a fairy. I don't think that part's important. It does give you the crest where you get infinite fairies into your hand. I don't know if you're supposed to mulligan for this card. I'm not 100% certain. It was just a 1 of, and I do know this guy only played this, and he went like 8-0. Like, it was just like every single game was a win. He only played this deck out of the 2 that he brought. And then, of course, we have the Lamaga, something that I think is a very powerful card, being able to lock down your opponent, get that little bit of chip damage in, keep them board locked from making the super big plays, and then you get to come in and clean up on the following turn with the Roach OTK. So nice to see her in the deck. But yeah, I mean, it's still Roach. Roach is still really disgusting, right? And then a deck that he didn't play was this Wardhaven pile. So what do we have going on here that's unique? We have noticing like on the ward slots, we're seeing like 2 ofs on the Holy Shield Maidens and the Charetta. If you haven't played the deck, I think you know that these cards are like garnets, kind of. You don't really want to see them in your hand. They're just in the... Like, you want to see, like, one of these in the early game, but you're forced to play, like, heavy counts because of your Aethers, right? But instead, we're playing cards like the Pact of the Beast Princess, which puts, like, more pressure on the board. And just, like, a little bit more proactive tools. And the Ronavero to be able to, like, destroy something. And then, of course, the Dark Haven Grace for the little bit of heal, a little bit of tick up, a little bit of board control. Just the modularity in it. Very powerful card. And then, of course, we have cards like Featherfall to be able to get a little bit of that storm damage in, just in case. And then only 2 Aether, because, I mean, like, you only need the 1, it feels like. Like, I feel like if the first Aether's not good enough, the second Aether's not going to be good enough either. So, I kind of agree with a lot of these. He didn't play the deck, so, like, is it even real? I like some of the decisions here. I do like some of the decisions here. Next up is second place. We see Forest again. This guy got second, though, you know. Is his list better? Really up for you to decide. I think it's always weird with tournaments. Who is it that is the better player? Because, like, sometimes it's... I mean, end of the day, it was best of 1. So, if you like this list a little bit more. I personally don't like this list as much. So what we see is we don't see Good Fairy at the pawn at all. I guess that card's not good enough. We do see triple Fairy Fencer, though. That's getting bumped up. And then we see this Fragrant Wood Whispers, where we get the Deepwood Bounty to our hand and draw a card. So 3 mana, draw 1, also get the 0 mana card. That's pretty weak, I think. It gives us a 0 mana card to make our roach lines better, but at the cost of passing a turn. Not sure if I'm about that. We are seeing 2 Titania Queen of the Fairies, which is going to be adding to our hand, of course, the Infinite Fairies, so that hopefully we can overwhelm our opponent. We're seeing triple Glade. By the way, the first place list, they only play 2 Glades. I can get behind it. I mean, the card is like, if you've ever played like Forest, you always hate when the second and third one hit your hand, right? So yeah, we're on 3 here. And we're not on the Fusion card. That's like why I'm really not a big fan of this one. We're not on the Fusion card, so we don't have a way to reduce our max hand size. We're playing the Triple Glade. We're going to be drawing up. And then this thing's going to be adding shit to our hand. How do you manage your hand with this deck as well? Not sure. I do like the first place list a little bit more. And then, yeah, no Lamaga, 1 Olivia. So that's the second place Forest deck. Now we're going on to the Rune deck. And we see it's the Dirt hybrid, kind of, where you get the little sigil creators here. 2-3 split. I personally went down to dropping this card. I felt like this card wasn't very good. And then we're seeing the double Edelweiss, which I do like, because I think that you need to be able to evolve her in a lot of matchups. Exactly on curve. You need to be able to have this thing down on 4. We're seeing the double Bergent. Bergent is... I'm sorry, in the set review. No, I think I'm still right. The second Bergent is terrible. The first Bergent is insanely good, actually, though. I misunderstood how slow this format was going to end up being. What is the thing? Oh, right, because I dropped this for Pascal's Dance. That's the only difference between this and my list. At the end of the day, it's still Declimb, Kuon, just a little bit more aggro in the early game with like these cards, a little more deep draw. And then a little more peel with this, and then the infinite heals of the Norman. Next up is Runecraft again in third place, though, and we're seeing a little bit different. I don't like this one as much. There is a lot of random one-ofs, and it makes me wonder if this is like a open decklist tournament. Because I don't know why else you'd have like the one-of Dark Side. Gets a little bit extra reach on your Kuons, I guess. Like on turn 9, you can push, what is that, 6, 7 damage. Same as an Odin. Odin can push 9. That's pretty cool, I guess. The Apprentice Astrologer is going to be able to mulligan and gain an Earth Sigil. So, if you've ever played this deck, it's like quite often that like you have something like triple Norman in hand. And then your hand feels a little bricked. This card's going to fix it a little bit. Only single Melvi in this list. I guess it is kind of awkward having to play the Witch's Cauldron. But like, I'm not sure. Single Flames of Chaos. This card is really good. I have been playing one of it in my list. It's just like an extra copy of your Sagelight. It's like your 4th copy of Sagelight is the good way to think about it. That needs a little bit of setup and then can like just blow up the board in the late game. Edelweiss is a one-of. I don't like one of Edelweiss. I think it's too important in matchups like Sword to be able to peel. And then also one of Bergent. I'm just saying, like, could have, I think you'd need more of this. I do like the 2 Norman, though. Do I? I like 2 William. I know that much. 2 Norman. Man, this card is, like, sometimes the best card, and sometimes he's the worst card. I'm not 100% certain about that, but we've got the one of Odin, we've got the Kuons, and then everything else. There's just, like, a lot of, like, one-ofs and, like, 2-ofs that I think this list looks a little worse than it should. Is the difference William? No, William's in the normal list, right? I'm not crazy. Yeah, William's in the normal list. We just have, like, less cards. Oh, it's these insights. The insights, the foresights are the reason that we're, Man, we cut, like, good cards for that? I don't know about that. Anyway, this person also brought Havencraft, and... Is this deck real? Oh, this deck is wild. That's right. We're on Storm Haven, where you're going to be popping these amulets that give you the birds. and you're just going to be storming down your opponent, and we have the maddening bench. And dude, I don't think this guy played this deck. I don't think he did. It heals you for 10, and then, like, you take 10 2 turns later. We've got this thing, the Luminous Sensor. We can pay 1, engage it, so it's 3 mana, heal 4, do nothing else. Just have an amulet on your board. The Colette says if we have 2 allied amulets, we can deal 2 damage to 2 random enemy followers. Being able, you know, the Seiryotennan Sword's a little bit better than that. Being able to ping down our opponent's board and control it. Once again, like with the Dose and the Salafinas, we're going to be clearing the board. Only 2 Agnes? Like I said, I don't think this deck is real. I just don't believe it. Agnes, the Swiftblade Storm. If there's at least 2 allied amulets on the field, destroy an enemy follower other than the opposing one. So you're going to be able to pop something and swing face. Surely that's better than the Avian Statue. Surely that's better than the Avian Statue. I'm just saying. Surely that's better than Odin. Or, like, at least as good. I don't think you need 3 Odin plus that. I don't know. Yeah, I think this deck is... I think this one's pretty shit. I wouldn't play this one, guys. Just my cup of tea. 4th place, we're seeing Sword again. And this is another deck that makes me think, is this open deck list? That's right. Why? We're seeing the Quick Blader. Because it's supposed to be comboed late game with maybe an Olivia. Maybe it goes to turn 10. And you get to do Albert plus Quick Blader to get that 1 extra damage. If you've ever noticed, people are really good at going to 13 or 14. Really bad about, you know, they're always over 12. They're never over 13, it feels like. We're also seeing the Band of the Battle Prince is a one-of to be able to peel wide boards when we need to, if we can see it, alongside the Hound of War to be able to also, you know, accelerate. And I think in the video that's going up today, I talk about the Hound of War and why I do think that, like, one of is probably correct just for the deck space. What else do we have going on here? 2 Luminous. I mean, that's pretty much like normal at this point. Single Olivia, just for the little bit of draw. You think of Olivia as a 4th copy of Amelia, and then that's the best way to assess it. Seeing 1 Ravening Tentacles. This can heal you out of range. It can bypass, like, a really sticky board that might be trying to, like, stave off a lethal. It could just give you an extra turn. It's a okay inclusion. And we see the 1 of Urias to just randomly punish game states where he can come down. I mean, if Urias can come down, he's a pretty damn good card. If he can't, he's a pretty terrible card. And especially with, like, Roach running around, he seems pretty good. Like, pretty well positioned. And next up is the last deck this guy brought. And that is a Runecraft deck. This is another spell boost with the 1 of Mulligan card. And then 3 of the Melvi. Plus the 2 Pascal's Dance in order to be able to get extra stacks early. So that we're able to... also, we have the 1 of Flames of Chaos. But the idea with that is that we're able to have the stacks so that we can Sage Light Teachings in the aggressive matchups early and aggressively. So that we don't just instantly lose. And otherwise, I mean, the stacks are... they can be used at any point for... We dropped Edelweiss. So that's part's a little sad. But I guess, like, if you're forced to use the stacks early... Sometimes the Edelweiss comes down and then you don't have stacks for Norman, and then you're spending a turn to rebuild. And also, like, look, where's the room in this deck? The room, not really there. We went a little deeper on our 2-drop line, so the Edelweiss didn't really have a lot of room to be put in. But yeah, that is it. First big tournament. We're having another one tonight, so look forward to tomorrow. I should have the top... Whatever they end up releasing is what I'll have for the SVO Open. But until next time, this is your boy Dean signing out.